good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, wherever you're tuning in from. I'm Dr. Jeffrey E. Berger, and welcome to Season 2 of the Holistic True Wealth series in collaboration with Mupo TV, part of Mupo Entertainment. As the CEO and founder of Abundance and Optimum Wellness and a certified holistic wellness coach, I am of the belief we all should be living a life of abundance and optimum wellness physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially. As a certified holistic coach today, I'm taking a finance-first approach to achieving all-encompassing personal well-being by embracing new ways to true wealth in the modern world. By exploring diverse paths opens the door to true wealth in every sense. And as a global ambassador for an innovative company revolutionizing the future of real estate through digital technology and education, AI, the metaverse, I'm deeply committed to empowering individuals and communities worldwide. My mission goes beyond business by providing global-minded individuals with new ways to true wealth in the modern world so they can circumvent the system and go from financial fatigue to financial freedom. You know, it's about creating opportunities, providing access, and building a more inclusive and supportive digital world where everyone has a chance to thrive. True wealth is not only about money, it's the combination of physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and financial fitness. Myself and my special guests that I bring on are all about bringing awareness around alternative options from all aspects, leading one towards a path to overall true wealth. The mission: provide real solutions for real people who are serious about wanting to go from barely surviving to thriving again. So before we get actually started and I bring my very special guest on today, we're going to take a quick commercial break. For those who are interested, you can find this interview series in collaboration with Mupo Entertainment at mupotv.com, or you can download their Android or iOS app. We're in 144 countries, also seen on Fire TV, Roku, and Vimeo. And you know what? We will be right back. Okay, we are back with Sia Twani, who is joining us all the way from the United Kingdom. And Siana is a global public speaker on mental toughness and resilience, and I know all about that, and leading and motivating development trainer, all around elevating excellence. And he's very proficient in topics that consist of emerging stronger from adversity and change, leading through change, resilience through change, and so much more, because it is all about change. So welcome, Siani Twani from Sia Twani. I knew I was going to mess that up. That's the second time I did that. Sia Twani to Holistic True Wealth.
It's like see ya later, alligator in a white crocodile.
I know, and I was thinking of alligator when I was looking at it. SIYA, see ya.
See ya.
Welcome.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jeffrey.
So before we jump into today's questions, share a little about who Sia is outside of being a global speaker and an amazing coach.
Oh, okay. That's directed at me. I did have a question. Sorry.
Absolutely.
Okay. My name is Sia. It means we give thanks, we give praise. I was the first son to be born after 8 daughters. So my father was extremely busy because he didn't have an iPhone or a television to entertain himself with. So there's 8 daughters before I was born, and my name means we give thanks. We give praise to God for a handsome dude like me. I was born in South Africa, Cape Town, and I grew up in Cape Town, went to school in Cape Town, and um, and I did a lot of things in Cape Town. And one of the things I did was to fight against the struggle for justice and equality. At the age of 17, I ended up in prison with Nelson Mandela for believing that all the peoples of South Africa, black, white, wealthy, poor, short, tall, handsome like me, we are all wonderful human beings. That was my only crime. And for that, I paid the price of 4 years of incarceration because I believe that people need to be free in their spirits, free in their emotions, feel to experience the joy of belonging.
Wow, that's amazing, and I'm sure that you have a lot of stories being there with Nelson Mandela for 4 years. So maybe that's another talk for another time. So we'll have to talk about that. But you have been really a motivational speaker for over 32 years. So congratulations on that.
Thank you very much.
What really got you into this line of business, which I'm sure it's going to stem from your 4 years of, being in prison and having a lot of time to think and really determine what you're going to do to give back to the world?
Of course, of course. They say that a journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. It was a step of being born in poverty. It was a step of being born by parents who were made to feel less than. And I observed my parents struggling to make ends meet. I observed my parents making a lot of sacrifices. I observed my parents just being selfless in raising all 12 of us and also giving to the community of faith and believers and the people in the community. My parents were poor, but our home was run like a hotel. And that taught me something about hospitality, generosity. That taught me something about how my parents bounced back from the adversities that they faced themselves. One of being made, my father was, for example, called a boy by white people. And my father just refused to be just a little boy. My mom was called a girl. So when I saw how my parents were managing the trauma of racism, that enabled me to have the inner strength, to have a voice for myself, for my parents, for my people, and for South Africa, not just black people, and for South Africa, because I believe that South Africa belonged to all, not just black people, black, white, Asian, black, all people of South Africa. So that was the bedrock. That was my foundation of doing the great work that I do, adding value to people, whoever they are, wherever they are. As Michael Jackson says so well, it doesn't matter whether you're black or white.
Absolutely. And with the Black Lives Matters big movement here in the United States, and I'm sure it's global as well. It's all lives matter. You don't look at color. You look at human beings. You look at, the heart and the passion and compassion that people have. And that's where it really stems from.
Absolutely. And change can only happen if we embrace the diversity of our personalities, our gifts, our stories. Yeah, because you have a story that I don't know. I need to hear that story so that I can be enriched, so that I can change.
Right. Yeah, you're absolutely correct. And I think too that as we, are raised in the different areas, we're raised to a point of where other people expect us to follow their rules and regulations.
Yep.
And we need to be independent. We need to be able to think for ourselves and do what we want and not what other people think and dictate us to do. So, and
absolutely.
I think it's becoming more aware. People are waking up to that reality, wanting to be individuals because we all have a purpose. We all have a meaning. And we want to share that and be a part of the world rather than being a robot within the world.
Absolutely. It was J.F. Kennedy who said, do not ask what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so we've got to be independent, critical thinkers. Yeah. We don't follow what the government says, but we become a movement. Like I said to you, Dr. Jeffrey, a movement of healing human disconnections.
Yes. Yes.
And that's what this world needs.
Absolutely, absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. So, what did you find as one of the biggest challenges um, during the last 30 plus years, and why and how did you get through it?
But one of the greatest challenges I've ever had was to relocate uh, from my own country of birth, where I had a sense of belonging. I was celebrated for who I am. I was seen. I was acknowledged. I was embraced. To
Nice.
come to a country like the United Kingdom, where I came from a country of black majority people, and I come from a country where I was labeled the ethnic minority. That was a challenge for me. Oh,
Yeah,
all of a sudden, I'm in the minority. So I had to do some adjustments as to how I understand myself
sure.
without losing myself. For example, the word in my language, which is Isikosa, was spoken by Desmond Tutu and Nelson Mandela. The word for community is umpakati. Can you try and say that, Doctor?
Say it one more time.
Umpakati.
Um pa umpaka
Umpakati.
umpakati.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, I'm very impressed. Oh, you've made my day. That means that's a word for community.
Mm,
We belong together.
yes.
So when I came here, I was made to feel I don't belong. That was a challenge for me because I always say this. I am not, like you just said earlier on, Doctor, I am not what I was. I am what I'm becoming.
Exactly.
Yeah. I
Yes.
am not defined by my race, my gender, my color. I am a human being who's entering the international space as a co-equal. So that was a challenge for me. That was a big challenge. But because I had inner strength and the inner resources to believe in myself, that's why I go into schools, colleges, and I say to young people, young person, young child, believe in yourself. Because if you can dream it, you can achieve it.
No, I agree with you. And we're brought up with so much negativity and self doubt and
Yeah,
self hatred in many respects. I
yeah,
know I lived through that with self doubt and, things like that. So, but I've luckily better, as I say, better late than never. I've gotten through that, and I'm on a new journey, and which is truly amazing. So we're gonna
beautiful.
take a quick commercial break, and we'll be
Sure.
right back with Sia. And as I mentioned in the introduction, I am a global ambassador for a very unique international company that is revolutionizing the technologies of today,
Yeah,
such as real estate, finance, education, AI, and the metaverse, that is really having a profound impact on where we will be doing and what we will be doing in the next 3 to 5 to 10 years. And I say it's a correlation of what was Microsoft and Amazon and Netflix back in the days that they started. They revolutionized what they've got going on today. That's exactly where we are today with these new amazing technologies that are going to be changing the world as we see it. We'll be right
yeah.
back.
Thank you.
And we are back with Sia Twani from England, all the way across the pond, as we say it. So, your work around children in earlier years, along with being a foster care trainer. So, thank you on that. That's a massive, massive undertaking. What were the most common factors coming across children at such an early age around toxic mindsets or trauma? And how did you help them get through those dark journeys?
Sure, sure, sure. Psychologists talk about adverse childhood experiences, things that have crippled children and young people to begin to do self-doubt, poor self-negative esteem, negative script that they have embraced or listened to, that they're rubbish. So adverse childhood experiences can be changed if we create an environment of love and support and understanding, where children who have been rejected, abused, sexual abuse, financial abuse, all the abuses, can be put in an environment that is affirming, an environment that says, you know what? God does not make junk. I like when the Americans say that God does not make junk, that they can be and embrace the fact that they are unique and they are special. They don't have to compete with somebody else. Number two, that they can change that story of I am rubbish. For example, I tell my story like I've just done. And I tell my story because I have two aims with that story. When I talk about the adversities I've experienced, the setbacks, I'm not telling that story so that people can feel sorry for me.
Right.
No, because I'm not a victim, I'm a victor.
There you go. Absolutely.
And so I take the same messages to the children and young people who are forced out or even in prisons. So my aim when I engage with children and young people who've been rejected, fostered, or in prison, I want to give them the best possible start in life. I want them to know that they can be set up for success instead of being set up for failure.
Absolutely.
So we create environments in the foster care homes where they feel valued, where they are listened to, where they are nurtured. Yeah. Again, I repeat, Colin Powell says the best gift we can give to our children is to give them wings to fly.
Awesome. Wings to fly. And you talk about from victim to vicar. And I completely relate with you in that respect, because I am a survivor of childhood molestation, chemical dependency, and 2 attempted suicides. So it is part of my journey to, living in abundance and optimum wellness, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially. So it's been an incredible roller coaster ride. And just like you're sharing your story because so many people relate. And I thought for many, many years that I was only going through this. And the fact is that I just am overwhelmed by so many people who have similar stories. And it's incredible. So my experience when I was focusing on, my health coaching, holistic health coaching, which is more on the gut health, getting the gut, the brain, and the heart kind of sync together, and knowing from my own personal experience that the most common issues is people either they don't love themselves, or they can't love themselves. They can't love themselves, and they find difficult times loving themselves. So there's a couple of different dichotomies with that. But my personal experience and belief is that this is really a foundation for everyone else to come to fruition. That once you can love yourself, then you open up Pandora's box to an unlimited potential of possibilities that are right in front of you. So what are your thoughts and beliefs around that?
Sure. Oprah Winfrey and Dr. Bruce Perry wrote a book, What Happened to You? They're looking at the impact of trauma. He's a neuroscientist. They're looking at the impact of trauma. Of course, you know the story of Oprah, that she was sexually abused herself and molested, and all the horrible things that were done by a mother, etc., etc. So they wrote the book to illustrate the damage of early childhood traumas and the impact it has on our brain and on our psyche. Another gentleman wrote a book, The Body Keeps Scores.
The body keeps scores. Yeah.
The body keep scores. Yeah. For
Yes.
you, it was sexual molestation. For me, it was racial. Yeah. And so
Right.
sometimes the brain remembers that which happened, but we can't be prisoners of our past.
Exactly.
Yeah. It happened. It was despicable. It should not have happened to you or to myself for
Right.
whatever reason.
Right.
But we cannot embrace a mindset of victimhood where I sometimes say to young people, uh, some of us, and I'm not minimizing the traumas that they've experienced, some of us would rather do navel gazing and look at the trauma, look at me, feeling me, oh, poor me, white people were bad, look what happened to me. We can use the pain, we can change the pain to
Exactly.
empower us. We can change that. We cannot be stuck. Another book that I just read recently is entitled What Happened Before You,
Mm,
talking about the generational traumas.
right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And sometimes a lot of men, a lot of young men, a lot of children, they carry a lot of shame.
Exactly.
A lot of shame. I am the problem. Yeah.
Right.
You're not the problem.
No, you're absolutely correct. I had a lot of guilt. I was raised
You
Catholic,
were
and I had a
powerless, you were vulnerable.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
bring that
Yeah.
from your past, and being raised Catholic, I had a lot of Catholic guilt.
Yeah.
But I built a bridge and got over all that stuff. So I'm moving forward. It's like the past was setting the foundation for me to move forward.
Absolutely.
You know
Absolutely.
that's
Absolutely.
so important.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah,
So
we.
with regard into the past, we have to face it.
Mhm,
Most young men I come across in my work, because we are told by society men should not feel
right.
any emotion. So
Men
I'm
don't
writing a
cry.
book. Men shouldn't cry, especially in
Right.
England, with the British stiff upper lip. Yeah.
Exactly.
So, so well, most men, most men in the United Kingdom, and it's a universal thing. It's in my cultures everywhere. So I'm not taking a pop at the British, but we are told men don't cry. We must not feel. I'm currently writing a book. It's entitled. It's for man. If you can feel it, you can heal it.
Yes, I like that.
If you can feel it, because we are told not to feel. We are told just to
Right.
think about what happened to us. We've got to feel it. Feel the anger, feel the shame, feel the guilt, but use the anger and the shame and the guilt to make you unstoppable, like me, like you.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I have a friend who runs a podcast, and it's all about um, real men cry. No,
Yes,
real men. Well, yeah, real men cry and real men have feelings. So it's all around that.
I love that.
It's yeah, it's and this gentleman has had some really amazing stories for himself. So my gosh, I'm gonna have to. When is your book gonna be out? You're working on.
Possibly end of the year. Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna have to. I'm gonna have to get you back on, and we'll have to talk about your book and promote your book.
Thank
Um,
you.
and we're coming down to wrapping up here on this interview here. So two things. Share with in the scrolling bar below. You can reach out to Sia on Facebook. All right, and then where else can they reach you? And then leading with one last nugget here. The last question is, if there was one thing, one nugget, one inspiration that you could provide viewers today who are looking to level up either in their personal, professional life, or both, what would that be?
Sure, 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 sure. So, one, face it. Face whatever you need to face. Don't dig your head in the sand. Face it. Yeah. Embrace it.
Yeah.
Sometimes in the West, we find it difficult to sit with uncomfortable emotions or feelings. Failure in business, personal failure. You made a decision, you made an investment, and it didn't. The business folded. Embrace, face it. That's what happened.
Right.
Embrace it. Yeah. Look for strategies to say that. They say in England, what does not break you make you stronger. Yeah, I think they say the same
Yeah.
in America.
Yes.
Embrace it.
Similar. Embrace it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And defy it. like I just said earlier on, I'm not defined by what happened to me. I have defied all the odds. I'm unstoppable. I'm unbreakable. I'm just relentless. I've got a hunger for life. So I defied all the odds. And number four, conquer it.
Mm-hmm.
I like what that book says, feel the fear and do it anyway.
Awesome.
Do not take no for an answer because you have unlimited potential. The past does not define you. The resilient bounce back. Sometimes life will knock you down, but you've got to get up. You've got to get up. That's my nugget for you.
That's awesome. And you talk about the word unstoppable, and my wealth coach he's the unstoppable millionaire. And I love the word unstoppable. It's like just charge, moving forward with that.
Absolutely.
So, Sia, I can't thank you enough for taking time from across the pond to join me today in this interview series. And I am going to share real quick here as we're wrapping up here that I am a global ambassador for the International Digital Real Estate Ownership Company, and we've expanded in the U.S. market. We are global, and we're making profound impacts from a global perspective. And it's about getting into your uncomfortable zone and learning about decentralization, about real world assets, about digital ownership, the metaverse, the AI. AI is profound right now. So AI is there now. We're moving into the metaverse reality. So if you are interested in just getting some information and start getting your toes wet, scan that QR code and sign up for one of my webinars. I do 5 a month. I want to get information out, educate people about what technologies are being, utilized today and what's happening today that is going to impact the world over the next 3 to 5 to 10 plus years into the future. Because those of us that are in the know are already benefiting from it, and we want to share it with the world because so many people are, stressed out. What is the number one stressor? Finances. We're living in a world of broken and corrupt systems. So you don't want to miss out on being a potential pioneer with us. You've got nothing to lose to get information. It's just getting information. And I truly believe that embracing this holistic approach, I did it medically back in 2018. I'm doing it financially now, that we can really achieve that state of well-being that is sustainable and fulfilling, leading us to live our best lives. And embracing new ways to true wealth in the modern world is what I'm all about. And I think, Sia, you wanted to say one more thing before
one more thing, Doctor.
Yes.
I am an international speaker. I'm looking for platforms, for Zoom platforms, for podcasts, for you to fly me over to the States. And for me, because I'm a world changer, I'm an influencer. I'm looking for opportunities to change lives of people one by one or massively. Thank you so much for having me on your show. I thank you.
Thank you, everybody. See you on the inside.
You thought I was playing? Huh. You thought I was playing? Huh.